Good morning, children. Now, it's almost English period now. English time, reading time. Today, we will take up a new story, a new biography, a story of someone. Well, he was truly a very special person, a very important person, a very important name in the history of the world. Who was he? Well, his name was Abraham Lincoln. Who was Abraham Lincoln? Why is he so famous? What is he known for? Let's read the chapter together. Abraham Lincoln. The story is written by Dolores Malone and illustrated by Stephen Costanza. Let's repeat the name again because it's a new name and a difficult name. The story of the Abraham Lincoln from your reading street was written by Dolores Malone and illustrated by Stephen Costanza. Well, some of you must be having the book at home. If not, listen to the story. The first part of the story. Well, what's the genre? The genre of the story is informational text. What is informational text? A story or a text that sends us or gives us information about someone. Informational text often gives facts about real people, places, events that reflect history of the traditions of communities. Let's see again what it means. Informational text often gives facts about real people, places, events that reflect history or the tradition of communities. Question of the week we'll be doing soon. Let's turn to the first page of the chapter. It was clean time in Miss Grant's second grade class. Noah and Maya were putting away the big map of the United States. Suddenly, there was the worst ripping sound. Underline or write down the word ripping. R-I-P-P-I-N-G. Ripping sound. Find the meaning from the dictionary. Turn to second page. Everyone looked at Noah and Maya. The map was torn into two pieces. "Look what you did," said Noah. "Me?" said Maya. "You're wrong. It's not my fault." Underline the word your. You are. The short form or the contraction your. Miss Grant stepped in. "Please stop," she said. "I don't think either of you is at a fault. We can fix that." They held up the two pieces of the map. "Look, our country has been torn into two. Now what? We need Abraham Lincoln." The first word, Abraham Lincoln. Underline and write it down. A-B-R-A-H-A-M. Abraham. Put a gap. Lincoln. L starts with a capital L-I-N-C-O-L-N. Abraham Lincoln. Now you know the name. But who was he? Why were the children talking about Abraham Lincoln after they tore the map into two parts? Abraham Lincoln asked Noah, "You mean the President Lincoln from long, long ago?" Listen to the line again. Abraham Lincoln asked Noah, "You mean the President Lincoln from long ago?" "Yes," said Miss Grant. I'll tell you about Abraham Lincoln and how he worked with other people to put our country back together. Well, this is a story from the United States. That's why the children use the word our country. It's a story. Let's read the line again. I'll tell you about Abraham Lincoln and how he worked with other people to put our country back together. By our country, they mean their country. They're narrating the story. So they're talking about Abraham Lincoln, who was the president of United States long time ago. When? It's a suspense. Someone new and someone very important you're talking about and you're learning about today. Well, turn to the next page. 230. Abraham Lincoln was born on February 12, 1809 in Kentucky. Kentucky is a place in United States. His family lived in a long cabin and had only one room. When Abraham Lincoln was a boy, everyone called him Abby. Everybody has nicknames. You know my nickname too. You know my home name. A bit funny, but he had it too. You have it too. Abraham Lincoln was known as Abby when he was a little boy in his hometown. Where? Kentucky. When was he born? 12th of February, 1809. Kentucky, United States. Abby and his family moved to Indiana in 1816. Indiana is another place in United States, in the southern part of United States. Indiana, Kentucky, these are all places from the southern parts of United States. He was 7 years old. Abby worked very hard on the farm. One of his jobs was cutting wood. Wood was used for cooking and for heat. We're talking about long time ago. Those days, there weren't rice cookers and burners. So, they used to cook food by burning wood. They used to place the pot on the burning wood and they used to cook food in it. Many of the villages around the world are still following that way, although it's not a very healthy way to burn. Why? Because burning wood, and burning wood causes pollution. But we are talking about long time ago, and many of the things were not invented yet. So, why he was cutting a lot of wood? Because he needed those woods to burn it, and on that flame of burning wood, they used to put the pot to cook the food. Wood was also used to make fences. Fences. Fences are wooden walls. Now fences can be made of bricks too, but those days most of the fences, the guards, the wall against your houses used to be made of wood, the wood fences. When Abby grabbed the handle of his axe, a big log soon became firewood or fence rails. Underline the word. Firewood, fence rails, both of it. Abby also plowed fields and planted corn. Young Abby carried a book with him wherever he went because he was a book lover. He loved to read. Later on, you will know more about this person, this famous personality. Whenever he had time to rest, Abby took the book from his pocket and read. As a young man, Abby worked in a store in New Salem, Illinois. Let's repeat the line again because these have some few difficult words. As a young man, Abby worked in a store in New Salem, Illinois. Illinois. Now, the spelling of Illinois is ILLINOIS. Sometimes the S is silent. So Illinois becomes Illinois. Illinois. So underline the hard word and write it down in your notebook, your literature notebook. One day, a woman bought some things in the store. After she left, Abby noticed that he hadn't given enough money back to the woman. Abby walked many miles to give her the money back. When his friends heard this story, they called him Honest Abby. Well, I'll be reading this paragraph once more. Let's try to understand why Abby or Abraham Lincoln was known as Honest Abby. As a young man, Abby worked in a store in New Salem, Illinois. One day, a woman bought some things in the store. After she left, Abby noticed that he hadn't given enough money back to the woman. Abby walked many miles to give her the money back. When his friends heard the story, they called him Honest Abby. But why? You understand why. Abby walked so many miles, traveled so far to give that woman the money back. Right? That's why everybody around him started calling him Honest Abby, because they understood that Abraham Lincoln, or better known as Abby, when he was a young man, he was very honest, very hardworking, right? These are two qualities, two of your IB attributes that we learned today. Well, now, today we have read till page number 233. Look at the video, hear it one more time, as many times you want, and then I've sent you the questions for day 1 on ManageBack and your WhatsApp and on your emails too. Open the first 2 questions, read it, and then try writing the answers. On Friday, I will be sending all the answers again so that you can reflect on it, see what my answers are looking at, and then you can correct it. But first, you have to try writing the first 2 questions, answer your questions on your own like we do in class. Thank you. I'll be sending you the story words soon. Bye-bye. Love you all.